Brian Beacom 4 years ago, Rory Boyd sat with his parents at the SEC Hydro for the first time, watching the world-famous spectacular, Cirque du Soleil. His 18-year-old eyes were on stalks as he watched 50 performing artists from almost 20 countries perform a range of incredible acrobatic routines. Yet, he could never have imagined that one day he'd be running the show. The young Scot is the chief automation technician. "I'm in charge of pretty much everything that moves in the show," he says, speaking from the backstage arena in St. Petersburg and where he is currently on tour. "There are 28 things that move in our shows, from winches and lifts to turntables. We have to program and run them throughout the show." The new Cirque du Soleil show is OVO, it means egg in Portuguese. It is described as a headlong rush into a colorful ecosystem teeming with life, where insects work, eat, crawl, flutter, play, fight and look for love in a non-stop riot of energy and movement. Regardless, OVO is massive responsibility. If something doesn't work, there could be serious consequences. "That's true," he says, in more serious voice. "We try not to think about that, even if we are constantly aware of it. That's why we have daily checks to make sure everything is running properly and nothing is left to chance." But when you are flying people through the air at 10 feet per second 30 feet up, it's always in the back of your head. That can make you a little bit nervous at times. He must have nerves of steel? Well, we have lots of different acts in the show. Some require very little automation, perhaps a spin on a turntable, but our straps act, which has 2 performers attached to a winch, and that's more challenging. Yet, it's all computer programmed. The secret is in checking the programs every week, and we use sandbags for performers, just to make sure it's all safe. He adds, in confident voice, "We have hundreds of rescue plans in place should something go wrong. And we do rescue training every week, whether it's from great heights or under the stage." Rory, who grew up near Inverness, attended the Royal Scottish Conservatoire and graduated with a BA in production technology. But he never assumed this would take him onto automation control. "I went there not knowing really what I wanted to do. At school I did the lighting for the shows we put on. And I sort of thought I may do this later on. But at RCS I later of a whole new world of backstage rigging and production." In this 3rd year, Rory managed to land an internship with Cirque, which took him to Russia for 6 weeks. Just 2 years ago he arrived in Russia as a hopeful rookie. Now he's back in St. Pete's as head of automation. Rocky would have said, "Didn't he do well? It's been a busy 2 years," he says, smiling, with a pleased voice. He's also the youngest head of department with Cirque, with all the responsibility that entails. But shouldn't he show some responsibility to his youth, be out there clubbing, getting out of his face, and waking up in Govan? He cuts in, grinning. "Well, that's never really been my thing. I love this life and touring. We work 10 weeks and have 2 weeks off." He adds, "When I was a kid I'd go to lots of unusual places with my parents, in the Middle East for example. And I've loved it. Now I get to travel and do a job I really love. I'm just so lucky." His dad is a construction manager, his mom a teacher. Their work is totally unrelated to theater, he suggests, not entirely, Rory. "Both jobs have a huge responsibility for others' welfare." "That's true," he says. "Relationships tend to form with other Cirque staffers," he reveals. "Is important to keep in touch with friends from home, but we have more than 100 people in this show from all over the world. It's great to hang out with an incredible variety of people. The circus is his home from home." "It is," he says. "We even have washing machines set up for us." He adds, smiling, "You can't do anything in life without clean socks." Cirque du Soleil, OVO, the SEC Hydro Arena, September 5 to